Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good night. This is On Deck. I'm Russ Morgan. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I kind of laid low. I had to work early next morning, but at least got to see some fireworks. Got to watch a little baseball. My Yankees are playing horrendous right now. They couldn't buy a win, but we're going to move on to other topics. We don't harp about that. We're kind of in my bread and butter right now. We're going to talk some MLB draft. We got the draft coming up on July 14th. So I'm jacked up. I'm just the way we're seeing, all these young players compete. We're seeing Paul Skeens, who was the first player, I think, in like 20 years to get an All-Star nod a year after he got drafted. We're seeing Bobby Witt, who's right up there, Gunnar Henderson. So, I mean, for me, I feel the draft is a lot more important now that we're starting to see these young players come up and compete with, Skeens. We're seeing Wyatt Langford, guys who are competing at college level, a year removed from college, and now they're helping their big league club moving up. So I'm just gonna kick it off. Obviously, I got my top 10. I'm going first, Travis Bazzana with Oregon State. They got him listed as second short. He's gonna be. I think he stays on the right side in the big league, but this guy's a stud. 407, 28 home runs, 568 on base percentage. Guy's got a compact swing, plenty of bat speed, an advanced approach, which is always positive. I think for me, if we're seeing guys who are coming up, you're seeing Brooks Lee, what all the scouts are saying. I've saw him personally. Is this guy's got an advanced approach at the plate? He's got a command of the system, which comes up big, especially in today's game. I think getting on. You're seeing Juan Soto, seeing guys get on base, work counts, get these pitchers out, get the bullpen. Bazzano's got. I mean, the guy's a stud. Advanced approach to the plate. He's got raw power. It can be susceptible to the off speed on the outer half, but this guy's going to be a solid player. Won the batting title and the MVP in the Cape Cod. If you see, I got my Cape Cod hat on. Did scout there for a week. Greatest experience ever. I know not everybody loves college baseball, but if you ever have the chance to get out to the Cape there in Massachusetts, it is one of the best baseball environments you'll see. You'll be in the middle of Cape Cod, and there'll be 10,000 people out there in the hottest summer. But I mean, the guy won the batting title in the Cape Cod. If you know anything about the Cape Cod League, it is the cream of the crop for college summer league. So that's very impressive. And I kind of put him on the map. Jumped him up where he's jumping up the boards. But I mean, profiled as a second baseman, strong bat speed. I could see him. I got him right there in the top. Going number one. Even though I got him as my top player, I don't know if he goes one. I got other opinions on that, but the guy's just a stud. He's right there. Had a big year with Oregon State, obviously batting 433, 407. Excuse me, I was misreading my notes. 407, 28. 28 home runs. But this guy's we could see him in a year or two. So I mean, he's big. I got Charlie Condon out of UGA, who obviously blew up this year. Batted 433 with 48 home runs, most in college baseball. Was the SEC Player of the Year. Won the Golden Spike. SEC Player of the Year. Won the Golden Spikes. He's got raw power. A lot of raw power. Obviously, you hit 48 home runs, but I mean, this guy is definitely you're playing on more upside with Condon because he was a preferred walk on with Georgia, and I think he's one of the a true symbol of a guy who stuck it out. And even though he's walked on, made the team, stuck it out, and look what happens. hit 48 home runs here, won the SEC Player of the Year. Obviously, if you watch college baseball, they had 4 out of the 8 teams are in the College World Series, and the final two teams were from the SEC. So that's the best conference in baseball, in college baseball. Guys got, you're betting on the upside. Obviously, not a lot of games played. You don't really know where he's going to play. He's played some third at Georgia, could play some first. Played some outfield, projected as a left or right fielder, doesn't have the athleticism to play center, is what the scouts are talking at him. The running's not over, below average runner, so that's why he's not going to be able to play center, is what they're projecting him not to play center. But I mean, I think in today's day and age of college sports, where it's if I come in, I don't start, I don't get playing time right away, I'm jumping ship, I'm going to the next opportunity. This guy stuck it out, split time as a freshman in the corner outfield, stuck it out, played a little third in the spring, and gets his shine, and jumps off the paper, jumps off, has a huge year. So I mean, I think he's a true testament. Stuck it out, stuck with his original commitment, played with it, played to his commitment, went through the process. I mean, also it's a big thing. He stuck with, he's with the same coaching staff, which also, if we're looking at the transfer, something in college baseball right now, is tough when you commit to one coach. He gets fired, but he's stuck with the same staff. He knows he's got the same hitting coach, and he had a huge year. Could be the highest pick in Georgia history since Jeff Perberm. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. Number 5 overall in 1980. So I'm high on Condon. It's definitely see where he plays, but you're betting on that upside. You're betting on what he's gonna on one huge year. So you'll see what you get, but he's going to be, right there in that range. I got him probably going 2. For me, I think he'll be number 2. And obviously, with the draft, it depends on slot value, what your team's going to play with, what they want to spend on that first pick. Maybe they want to go a little under slot so they can invest a little more in their later picks, because obviously, we saw Gunnar Henderson fall. And he's starting shortstop in the All-Star game. He falls. You can give him a little above slot so he doesn't go to college and have that commitment to college. You throw him a little more money. Number 3, I got Jack Caglione out of Florida. A lot to say about this guy. Obviously, 6'5", lefty, first baseman, left-handed pitcher. I view his future as a hitter. I don't think he's going to be a two-way guy. Obviously, he has that potential. You're 6'5" off the mound. That's daunting off the mound, but I don't think he has the control to be a pitcher. But this guy, as a left-handed bat, basically carried Florida for all year. I mean, this guy, he was on base against Clemson so much. They're just walking him just so they don't have to face him. The guy batted .419, 35 home runs, some of the longest home runs I've seen in college baseball. When I saw him at Oklahoma State this year in the regionals in Stillwater, and he put it well onto the practice football field. I mean, the guy's got light tower power. Obviously, .419, 35 home runs, .549 on base percentage. Was 5-2 on the mound with .476 ERA, 73 innings pitched. But this guy's a top left-handed bat in baseball. Is very aggressive in the box. But I mean, the guy's got a long reach. He'll be good for me. He does tend to chase a little bit at times. Did cut that down this year, which is solid for teams to go off the. But I mean, the guy's got light tower power and is super fun to watch. I just don't know if he's going to be that two-way guy that everybody wants now because he just doesn't have the command on the bump that's going to get it done. So I mean, I see him top 5 pick. Obviously, I'm 3. I think he'll go top 5. It depends on what the team wants. I think number 4 is Oakland. I think if Oakland goes with Caglione, they need a guy to market that team, and especially going into Las Vegas in a couple years. Obviously, in Sacramento, they need to find a way to sell tickets. I think Caglione will help sell tickets. They got him at 65 overall. I'm a 70 power hitter. The scouts rate him, which is, basically they're projecting him a 30 home run guy, which is pretty impressive. But I could see him moving through the system quick if, depending who he goes to, if they want to try to move him, play him a two-way that like we see with Otani, we saw with Brendan McKay who came out of Louisville. They tried to make him a two-way, was a hell of a hitter at Louisville, hell of a pitcher, didn't really work out as a hitter, and it did hurt him a little bit in his development. So I view him as a guy who's going to make his way through the system as an offensive player. Obviously, he's solid defensively at first base, which also plays a plus because then you're getting that extra bat in the lineup, not having to DH him. But I view him right there. Oakland an ideal fit, a guy that I don't know, is it Las Vegas now next year, or are they going to be the Sacramento A's, whatever they are? They need someone to market that team and bring fans back, because obviously Oakland, you're seeing not seeing it. The number's too good right now. Number 4, I got Chase Burns. This guy was just a horse on the mound this year. Obviously, University of Tennessee transfer, helped Tennessee last year get to the College World Series, transferred to Wake Forest, and just pumped. Guy was 10-1 on the mound, 2.70 ERA, 191 strikeouts. Batting average against was 175. I'll get to Tommy White real soon because I like Tommy White a lot. 3rd in the NCAA in strikeouts. So this guy's, top of the line guy. Got a really tight slider, high arm slot zone, low 80s curve, strong command. But this guy's, I could see this guy's a frontline starter in a couple years, which I see. I think it's number 3 would be Colorado. Perfect pick for Colorado because obviously playing in Denver, the high altitude, it's tough to get pitchers to come there. Obviously, Coors Field's a launching pad. So I could see them trying to go straight pitcher, 60 overall pitcher. I like Chase Burns a lot. Watched him a couple times this year at Wake. Kind of funny that he jumped ship from Tennessee to get a shot to go play Wake, and the year he jumped ship, they win the College World Series. Yeah, I like Tommy White a lot, but the thing with Tommy White, the power numbers are there. Obviously, transferring from North Carolina State, hit 27 home runs at North Carolina State. Transferred to LSU as a sophomore. He went 24 deep and was really big and a really big help on that title run last year on that phenomenal LSU team. I think that the thing with Tommy White, people are a little down on. They don't know where he plays. Obviously, he was third baseman through and through at LSU. Jay Johnson said, "You can make 50 errors at third base. Your name's in the lineup at third base every game." But he's down to where he's going to play. I know, and all the stuff I'm reading and I'm seeing that he's going to be more of a first, put him on the right side as a first baseman, maybe DH, but the guy's got power uh, that will intrigue some teams because some teams are going to take a gamble on that. I mean, last year he still, 105 RBIs. So, I mean, this year he was definitely hurt a little bit. Teams started getting a little more tape on him. Definitely when they're in Chapel Hill, pitching him correctly, had some long flyouts. We got him. MLB.com is what I've been using. They got him at 20. I've seen projections from him going anywhere from 20 to 26. I like Tommy White a lot. I even mentioned Tommy White early in the show as a guy to watch. So I could see him. They project him to my Yankees. I saw one projecting to my Yankees. I'd take Tommy White in a heartbeat. Guy, hey, let's move him up in a year or two. Got a little struggles at first base. So I like Tommy White, and kind of helps the guy's got winning pedigree. So he knows what it takes to win. So we'll see where he goes. We'll see what he's asking for slot money wise. That some of these players, not usually college guys, mostly the high school guys, slot themselves out of draft picks because they're asking for too much. So, story on that, I won't drop any names. I was a guy when I was scouting out of my a local high school, Redondo Union High School in Southern California. Guy I saw his junior year was probably, he was topping 91, 92. And his senior year bounced to 96. Topping 96, consistent 94, 95, tight slider, solid curveball. Started developing a changeup, right-handed pitcher now with the White Sox. But he had a commitment to Arizona at the time, who was Jay Johnson, was the coach, who's now at LSU. But he was scaring slot value with him was scaring some teams off, so he dropped a little bit. Did end up getting a good number, but that usually tends with the high school guys. They want they demand a higher slot value than their pick, and it scares some teams off who are trying to allocate more money to maybe their top 20 guys. Number 5, I think, is very interesting for me. I got J.J. Weatherhold from West Virginia. This guy was a stud last year, obviously. In my opinion, I think he's even though I got him at 5, I think he's number 1, the first pick in the draft. All the rumors I'm hearing, all the research I'm doing is the the Guardians, who do have the number 1 pick, are trying to go under slot. So Weatherholt would be the guy, is what I'm viewing, and he's going to go under slot. But this guy was a stud his sophomore year. This year was a little down, had that hamstring injury that kept him to 36 games. Still ended up batting .331 with a .472 on base percentage in only 36 games and 124 at bat. Excuse me. This guy's the best pure hitter in college baseball. Won a batting title. He's got the ability to drive the ball over to all fields. Elite bat to ball skills, which is a plus. And this played a little in the Cape. Wanted to work more, try to get some work at shortstop, but the injury kind of made him stay on the right side of second. It's a plus runner. This guy's got base stealing threat when healthy. Obviously, those hamstring injuries are a little interesting. You never know when they're going to fully heal. But guy's got speed. They also played it. They were in Chapel Hill there, and we saw him, the coach saying, "Hey, I'm not going to force him to do anything," and he's out there, balls to the wall, still stealing bags right off a hamstring injury. So this guy's a gamer. Obviously, they got him as uh, a 60 overall guy, 65 hit, a 60 run, which is solid because I haven't seen too many 70 run guys. I was sitting when I was scouting, I was sitting with a veteran scout, kind of took me under his wing a little bit, showed me the ropes, and we had one of the players I coached that I went to Orange Lutheran, just a hard 90 down the bag. And we both clock him. He turns to me, asks me what I got. I'm like, I got this. He goes, "Hey, Russ, that's a 70 grade runner right there." I go, "Why?" He goes, "You see his head?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You see any movement?" And he goes, "No." I mean, obviously as fast as can be, but he goes, "That's a 70 grade runner. No movement, smooth." So 60 grade solid. That's obviously they're seeing the stolen base potential out of him. 5, I got left-handed, or excuse me, 6, I got left-hander Hagen Smith out of Arkansas, 6'3", 225, 204 ERA, 9-2 on the bump, 84 innings pitched, 161 strikeouts, 94-97 with the fastball, SEC pitcher of the year, which is saying a lot. Knowing if you know anything about the SEC. Well, let me catch my breath real quick. Get a little water. I mean, has touched 100 a couple times. Another guy I could see him or Burns fighting for that first pitcher off the board there. Guy's got textbook delivery. But I mean, this guy was doing it, and you're doing it at a high program at University of Arkansas in the SEC, which is pretty impressive. Guy's got a upper 80 splitter. He does struggle with locating at times. So I mean, that's something you need to watch. But these minor league teams got great pitching coaches. They'll figure it out. Easy top 10 pick. Him and Chase Burns will be battling it out. He's got front of line potential. Uh, as a guy with front of line potential. I mean, I'm waiting for the 14th, see who goes the first pitcher off the board. I At number 7, I go a little differently. I go according to some of the power rankings, some of the rankings I'm seeing. I'm a little different. Uh, I go Bryce Rainier from Harvard Westlake High School in Encino, California, which if any, I mean, I know California high school baseball is a top program in California, has put out some phenomenal players, from Jack Flaherty to Max Fried to Lucas Giolito. They were all on the same pitching staff. Did play on the 18U USA national team. Uh, Double duty guy. He does throw a little bit. But he's got tools. This guy's a stick him at short. He's going to stay at short. I've got did a little more. Talked to one of my guys in California that I worked with. That his opinion on him was that you stick him at short until he phases out, and then you can put him on the bump. So that's pretty exciting. He did say he's a 70 grade. He put him as a 70 grade arm, which is a guy who could stay at short if you got a 70 grade arm. He's got a lot of raw tools, which if you're drafting a high school guy anywhere in the draft, especially in the first round, you're going off pure upside potential, which Rainier's got upside potential. He had a solid summer circuit, performed well, really projectable frame, strong projectable frame. So I could see him sticking it short. We'll see. The scouts couple scouts I've talked to, all said that put him at short, and then if it doesn't work out, he's good enough to put him on the mound, which is probably another plus because you're not sinking all this slot value money into a guy, and if he fizzles out, he fizzles out. You're done. Maybe he doesn't work out at shortstop. You could put him. You could put him. You could put him on the mound. University of Arizona is my team. University. I'm an Arizona guy. That's where my brother went. I started watching college baseball. Started following University of Arizona. Andy Lopez is actually from the same was the same town that I went to high school in. So a lot of my coaches knew him really well. He was the coach in the early 2000s to I think he retired in 2014. Had a couple. My brother did have a buddy who was actually starting shortstop and second baseman at U of A that he played Little League baseball with. But U of A is my team. Obviously, love watching U of A baseball. Too bad the Pac-12 is disbanding for all college sports. I do college football too with a couple buddies on Finn's Talk here, and we're all West Coast guys, so we're a little sad that that the Pac-12 is going away for football. I'm sad for baseball because the Pac-12 definitely has some great talent coming that way. But I follow U of A. I got to meet Jay Johnson when he was at Arizona, who's now the head coach at LSU. Great guy, great coach. So yeah, U of A is my team, and I'll always follow them. But I love college baseball. I watch SEC baseball all the time. It's the same thing. Same thing in football. I follow U of A is my team in college football. I'm deadlocked on SEC football. So that's even though I'll root for them, I'll always root for U of A. SEC baseball, SEC football just dominates. It's just the best competition, and you get the best players. Number 8 for me, I got Connor Griffin out of Jackson Prep High School in Mississippi. Gatorade National High School Player of the Year. This guy's got 5-tool potential, which is impressive. You don't see 5-tool a lot. Electric bat speed at the plate with another guy they're projecting 30 home run potential. I mean, hey, with Connor Griffin, obviously, I can't say high school baseball is really not on the TV. I'm going off of with everything with him, and every videos I'm seeing. This guy's going to be a top 10 pick. Younger, definitely, just still only 18. Reclassified from the 25 draft to the 24 after leading Jackson Prep to it's called the Mid-South Association Independent Schools 6A state champion as a true freshman. Gatorade Player of the Year. Guy's got a huge frame, 6'4", 5-tool. Adds size, adds some length. Got strong electric bat speed and a lot of strength. Well above average speed for a guy that size with a 65 run, which is very impressive. Which could get him a 30-30. LSU commit, won't go to LSU, won't make it on campus. But 30-30 potential, project him as a plus defender at shortstop with gold glove potential in the outfield. So if I'm seeing gold glove potential, I'm sticking him in the outfield, But covers a lot of ground. You're 6'4", you got long strides. So I see him as a center fielder. Got a strong arm, clocked at 96 from the mound. This guy just does it all. But impressive makeup with his physical ability. Number 9, I got Brandon. I got Brandon Montgomery out of Texas A&M, who was on the runner-up team in college baseball. 6'2", switch hitter, throws from the right side, hit 27 home runs this year. So, I mean, the guy's in line for a top 10 pick. Obviously, I view him as a top 10 pick. I got him number 8. Has a bright future as a hitter. I'm misreading. Outfielder, did some work, came back his junior year and really blew up. He's got power, profile. Oh, sorry. He's got a quick approach at the plate and aggressive from both sides. Obviously, switcher. Definitely got a little more power on from the left side, but has a nice stroke from both sides of the plate. But the left side is definitely where he's got more power, a little more needs to work a little more on his plate discipline to handle those breaking balls. Did struggle a little bit the last 2 seasons. He's still a little swing and miss, which is sometimes you get with these college guys. He's got average speed, but a plus arm strength, so I could see him sitting back in those corners. A nice guy. He can reach 96. A nice guy who's got some speed. You could get some nice defensive runs saved out there. I could see this guy top 10 pick and another guy that could move up quick because of him playing college and him playing college under a solid coach, Jim Schlossnagle, who was at TCU for a long time and went to Texas A&M. Actually, just moved over to Texas, but that's a solid coach. You're getting good coaching, so you're getting solid makeup, which is a huge plus for a team. So I could see him moving quick through the system. I mean, and from years past in the draft, high school players were all the rage. Now we're kind of seeing these college guys starting to take over the ranks. Obviously, if you're drafting a high school player, you're going on upside, you're going on projectability, where maybe more college players is you're seeing more of they have a little more to work on. But I mean, for me, I love guys who go college. They're getting their work in at a college level. They're not having to suffer down in the minor leagues and sitting on buses all the time. You're getting your work in on college. You're playing top end talent. Yeah, maybe these guys are top, are still, every guy in the starting 9 on the SEC. Those guys were draft picks out of high school. Maybe they slotted out of it. They wanted a little more money than their slot value, or maybe they're top 20 round pick, so they want to go back, refine their game, come back. Brandon Montgomery is the guy who refined his game, could jump into a top 10 pick. Maybe someone loves him so much they take him top 5 that they just want to get their guy. So we shall see where he goes. I got him top 10. The next guy, rounding out my top 10, I got Trey Yesavage. I think Yesavage. I mean, 10 for me was always a difficult one. Where 10, I was going back and forth between Nick Kurtz from Wake Forest, who is a solid left-handed bat. Obviously, had a big year at Wake Forest. with 39 home runs. I could definitely see him being right there. So 10 was always, I was jumping, who do I go with? I had to look at the top 10. I'm like, sometimes I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to view this team. Maybe they focus, they focus more on a little more pitching. But 10 was a tough one for me where, 10 could anywhere. There's guys from, you know, James Tibbs from Florida State here in the state I live in, up in Tallahassee, Christian Moore, who's a second baseman for University of Tennessee, Cam Smith, another guy out of Tallahassee. Maybe they go for a high school guy and play on the upside. But I went with you, Savage, at 10, finished the year with the 6'4", 225. Finished the year with the fourth best ERA in college baseball, the fifth most strikeouts, with 100. Fourth best ERA was 202. Fifth best strikeouts in the NCAA was 145. Was the AAC Pitcher of the Year. He's got a solid 4-pitch mix. I could see him as all the research I've done. They see him, and I see him as a mid rotation guy, but 6'4" plays big time. And this guy, obviously, was a big part of the East Carolina team who ended up, getting another host regional. Can't seem to get out of Greenville, but they got another one. But I mean, you got a 4-pitch mix from you, Savage. AEC Pitcher of the Year, physical 6'4" frame. He came back, improved his fastball. They gave him a 60 fastball, 50 curveball, 60 slider, 60 splitter. Controls a little, but a 50, that's a little, that reads a little more mid rotation. Maybe if he doesn't pan out, you throw him in the pen with the 55 overall grade. But definitely looks, mid rotation stuff. For me and a lot of people. I was always intrigued. For me, I'm the guys I've seen after that. You got Christian Moore, who if you watched college baseball this year, was a key staple of that University of Tennessee title run. With a solid frame at second base, the guy was solid defensively, 6'1", 210. He's got a strong, aggressive approach at the plate. Got some power. We got to see that at the World Series. TD Ameritrade, if you know anything, and when they first came up with TD Ameritrade, the ball did not jump. And this second baseman is, dropping, hitting some boombas, as we say in baseball. So I like Moore a lot. I could see him another guy, maybe give him a year and a half. Maybe you try to throw him at short. I don't know if his arm strength's strong enough to throw from the shortstop, from shortstop. But it's another guy who could give you a top 10 pick that could sneak in there. Maybe a team has a little more slot money and they want to allocate a little more to their second round, so they can steal a couple players away from the commitments. But they got a second baseman, and the guy's got enough athleticism. If it doesn't work out at second base, you could throw him in at center field. You also got James Tibbs out of Florida State, who Florida State was definitely one of the better teams in college baseball, made the College World Series. Left-handed hitter, 6 foot, left from both sides, obviously. Now, the one thing with Tibbs is they're limiting him more to the left field because he is a below-average runner. Maybe you throw him at first base, being a nice lefty, but he did have a nice jump, considerable jump from year to year, which the floor is higher than the ceiling for him, obviously, but another, it's another guy you could see his name in the top 10 making a jump up there. Yeah, we got Tommy White is another guy I really like. They got him at 20. Another guy I really like is Vance Honeycutt out of University of North Carolina. Honeycutt. I mean, I loved watching this guy. Watched that Chapel Hill regional, and the guy's just a gamer. And even you're listening to everything you hear about him. It's try to hit the ball away from center field because he is just patrolling out there. Uh, and this guy's a two-sport athlete. Was also a high school quarterback out of the state of North Carolina. So he's definitely athletic with a 70 field, 65 run, 60 arm. This guy's going to stick in center. But he's got plus tools above all across the board. He did carry a 30% strikeout rate as a freshman, but cut it down to 20 when he was a sophomore, but did bounce up to 28 back up his junior year, which is a little, question. You do a little, more research on him, what's going on. Does have a pull heavy guy, but Honeycutt's another guy I really like, and I could see him getting a top 20, top 15 type of pick. Gotta go down. There's one guy out of Camarillo High School that my source in California was talking about, and I just saw him, and I'm Gabe Jump's another guy that I like out of LSU, left-handed pitcher guy I saw out of J. Sarah High School a couple years ago. He's another guy was coming off Tommy John this year, so he was a little down. Was at UCLA, transferred to LSU, did get drafted in the 18th round out of high school. Obviously, decided to honor his commitment to UCLA and then make the jump to LSU this year. But it's another guy, nice left-handed pitcher, hides the ball well, which I mean that's always a plus. Is another guy I could see. I mean, not first round, maybe second or third round guy I like, guy I've seen personally, so that always helps. What was his name again? I'm sorry, I'm looking for this guy's name. I'm sorry, I'm looking for this. Talk a little bit about player out of Camarillo High School that Brandon Daughtry. Boston Bateman. Okay, I might drop the ball on this one. I had a little research on Bateman. My guy in Southern California said he liked him a lot. I'm trying to get a little more on Bateman. That we'll see. I wanted to see where he's committed. What I know they had him in the 80s, but now I'm dropping the ball on that. I apologize, but my guy in California is high on him. Big 6'7" left-hander out of Camarillo High School. Obviously, I don't know much about him, and I can't give you much, but is a name to watch from my source in California, who saw him a handful of times. Was a perfect game, in the perfect game circuit a lot. So that's another name to watch. I mean, I'm excited for me. I'm very excited for this draft. I think we got a lot of good players, a lot of college players, which is for me. I love watching the college players. From not just the top guys from Bazana or Condon, Caglione. I mean, you got Tommy White, who is a guy I always love watching at LSU. We got Honeycutt, who the guy's just a gamer. Christian Moore is another guy I really liked. You got a lot of good, exciting guys that I love college baseball, and I'm always going to follow college baseball. But it's exciting to see the college get a little more, and I think I would push kids to play more college baseball. I think it's a little, go play 3 years in college, minimum 3 years, get your refinement at the college level. You might be playing better competition, instead of having to suffer it out in rookie ball or A ball out of high school. Go get your time, especially if you're playing SEC, ACC. Excuse me, I finally found that Boston Bateman. This is a name to watch from my source in California. 6'8" is what they got him listed at. 6'8" left-handed pitcher. 6'8", 6'7". All right. But he's got the size and makeup that could separate him this year with a solid 2-pitch mix. Touching 97. I'm glad I never had to face 97 when I was in high school. But sitting around 92 with a true 1-7 curve, which has a lot of spin. Development, he's still got to develop that third pitch. Finding that changeup, I think for pitchers, that changeup is definitely something you really gotta work. I love seeing these pitchers with a strong changeup. That is a definitely out pitch. LSU commitment, they got him at 57. MLB.com has him at 57, but this is definitely a name to watch. 6'7", 6'8" is definitely something obviously you can't teach. So we'll see where he ends up. But my source, who I trust highly in California, a guy who kind of, I would worked with, but he was more seasoned scout, so he had definitely more years under the belt doing it. Kind of took me under the wing, showed me the ropes, but I trust him and trust everything he says. But Bateman's a guy to watch. Obviously, I'm excited. I'll be watching the draft this year. It will be on MLB.com. I'm excited. Maybe see some high school guys jump up. What they get, see some of these college kids. I love seeing the college guys get a little more, appreciation of what they deserve. But as we're seeing in Major League Baseball right now, these guys are starting to move up quicker. So I think some of these guys can help a big league club in a year or two. Well, Langford was how many years in the not even years, months in the minors, and then he made the open league roster. So drafts on the 14th. Tune in. I'm excited for it. I'm ready. I just wanted everybody make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. I love doing this. This is Wednesday's the highlight of my week. I love getting on talking all baseball. Obviously, MLB most, talking draft. It's something I love with all my heart. Baseball, a huge passion. So for everybody who came in and watched, I'm very grateful. And I'm Russ Morgan. This is On Deck here on the Fins Talk Sports Network. You have a great night.